On our way back to Ohio from Pennsylvania, I got the tribe with me. Ava's still at camp. Picked Addie up today. She's got a little Mowgli hair going on. And I got Ollie with me also. On our way back, I talked about today. The only real horse that disappointed me today, I guess, was Incredible, and we found out quickly afterwards why. She was 3 out of 5 for mucus. Even had a drop of blood, but I wouldn't really... I wouldn't say that was impactful at all. I think that was more of a product of her airway than a cause of her being a little bit flat. I think that mucus was the biggest cause. She was a little wild going up to the gate. I missed the gate by a length and a half. Didn't really care, because from that point on, she actually was on both lines. Left line, actually, a little bit more. Probably take that Murphy blind off the inside of her for her next outing and get her cleaned up. Aside from that, maybe draw blood just to make sure there isn't something else going on there. But I don't think there is. Now, that's starting in the middle of the day. Let's rewind all the way back to the start. Miss Lady May, here's a horse that was crazy her whole life. Like, crazy. Her and Incredible were both wild. You would never know that about Miss Lady May today. Just kind of quietly got away easy from the rail. Sat fourth along the rail. Never really an anxious moment. I knew that Sean was getting a little anxious in behind me. I think it was Sean. It wasn't Aaron. It was Sean, I believe. I just waited for him to move, followed his cover, and then pounced on him in the last turn, coming out of the last turn. She was as perfect as you could ask a horse to be today. You would never believe that horse was hot and crazy all year training down. She was an absolute angel today at the track. She did everything right. She warmed up good. She post-paraded great. She was great behind the gate. She was great coming off the car. She followed perfectly, and she attacked when asked. It was an A-plus effort from Miss Lady May today. I wish they all were that nice. One of the rarest things was PJ's Lovin' making a break. Justin was down in the dumps because he knew I was going to make fun of him a little bit after the race, and I looked at him and said, hey, just relax. It's not your fault. She was due, and she hasn't made a break since, February. She's a 2-year-old trotter. It happens. I can't really tell you what took place. If I was to guess, especially for a horse like her that never, ever runs, I would suspect that just the surface difference. She does have flip-flops on. It was a little warm today. Was the surface maybe a little sand? It's possible. Miss Lady May doesn't wear flip-flops, I don't believe. I'll tell you who else does is Dame Hanover. And she dropped her knee boot. That's why she made that break in the weirdest of places. Tyler said I was looking down when she did it. I was just watching her because I could hear her tick her knee a couple of times. She reached up, tick, spun that knee boot, and it fell down. One stride later, she was on the run. But what happened later was, at least mathematically, that mile, 28-1 on the end of it after making a break with that knee boot on your foot. An impressive mile from Dame Hanover. Not shocking. Are you surprised? I'm not. This is a very, very talented filly. I think when you look at the flat mile from Incredible, the break from Dame Hanover, PJ's Lovin's break, and then factor in what was a pretty good mile, actually, on the math for Pilot Caviar, I think 4 Stallion Series fillies for next week. There's no need to go Sire Stakes, I think. And now I want to get a look at everybody's horses. I do. I would like to give a shout-out to Norm Parker's filly. What a beautiful filly. The one that beat Dublin's Ferrani. I was a little miffed in that race. I'm bouncing around. So let's get through it. Let's through the Miss Lady May was great. PJ's Lovin' pitched that. There's nothing wrong with her. I can't tell you for certain why she made a break. I suspect it was the surface, but I wouldn't worry about that just yet. Dame Hanover, same type of thing. I thought she had a little wrinkle in her left front when she went out in the track, and oddly enough, she dropped that right knee boot. So Tim will have to get his vet to look at her and make sure that we stay on top. That's more of an international money thing. I vaguely remember Austral and all the good international monies we had always had to stay on top of their knees, and I don't think that Dame Hanover is any different. Incredible, just chalk that up to mucus. Mildly crazy today, I would say about a 4 out of 10 on the lunatic scale. She can get up pretty high sometimes, and today I thought I was in for a bit of a rodeo, and as it turned out, she was actually pretty well behaved. And then Dublin's Ferrani was great. You know what? I'll end with Dublin's Ferrani. Solidarity was good. Justin played it safe, followed along. Big last half. I think she trotted her last half in 57 and a piece, so I'm not mistaken. A mile and 59 and a bit. Sub 2 minutes. Did her work well. Finished up well. I think that we're in a good spot with all 4 of those fillies. Again, pitch the brakes. Dame Hanover rarely runs. PJ's Lovin rarely runs. I'm not worried about those brakes. They're explainable, and they're 2-year-old filly brakes. I wouldn't even think twice about them. Sure, they're going to bother us as we go to bed, but we'll wake up tomorrow knowing that they're not going to play a role in next week's races. Now, Dublin's Ferrani, I was a little miffed. Wilbur goes out of there with his horse that, you never know how your 2-year-olds are, but you never want them to get stretched out real good. I don't like horses going by incredible down the lane. I thought the math was there for her to win the race pretty easily, especially coming off that powerful qualifier. But when you're dealing with a little sickness and a little mucus, that's what's going to happen sometimes. And she'll bounce back, and she's tough. Well, Dublin's Ferrani, I want to follow Mike, but for me to follow, I know what's going to happen is I'm going to push through. Wilbur's going to get in the 2-hole. There's going to be a big hole there. Mike's going to get in the 3-hole. I don't really want to be on the front, so I gotta turn Wilbur loose, who's going to turn Mike loose, and I'm going to have to sit in the 3-hole or quarter pole to the front. I didn't really want to do either, but I chose the former. Sat in the 3-hole. Wilbur's done at the 5/8. I got to come first over, and he wasn't done until I'd already put her in gear. In hindsight, you're like, oh, you could have come slow and dropped in the 2-hole. I don't know how good Mike's horse is. She is one beautiful filly, I can tell you that. Big, black. I assume she's a Father Patrick. She was gorgeous. Anyway, it looked like I had her cornered in the last turn. Can I help you? You need to go to the bathroom? Okay, we can go to the bathroom up there at the truck stop we went to last time, okay? Okay. I really thought I had him cornered in the last turn, but he fought on and then drove away from me. Dublin's Ferrani is going to be a very, very fun filly to race. Now, I'm not worried about anything I've seen, but in Kentucky there were some good horses trotting 56 yesterday over Oak Grove. One of them was a Ready for Money. Another one, no, the other one was a Dover Dance. That's Indiana. One of them was a Ready for Money that looked really good. I just don't know. I'm trying to figure the best way forward. PJ's Perfect said it's not going to be ready. Of course, she's not going to be ready. She's not qualified yet. So I'm torn. Here I got a filly. Now I'll make it as simple as I could. If I owned Dublin's Ferrani, yeah, I'm going to the next gen. I'm going to land third, follow a helmet, hope for mistakes from other people because she's not going to make any, and zip through and get the job done. You know who she reminds me of? And Amy and I talked about it today. She reminds me of My Jazz. Only this filly, I think, is actually faster than My Jazz was, the 2-year-old. But that doesn't matter. That was 5-6 years ago, whatever long it was ago. But she is handy. She loves her work and she can trot. But they all have their start and their end, right? They all have their ceiling. Whether it comes a little quicker than we'd like or whether we get to it later on, they all have their ceiling for the most part. So I am torn. As I said to Amy, if I owned her myself, I'm going to the next gen. But I have to look at the filly and everybody else associated with her. It's not lost on me that a 5th place finish means you lost money. Starting fee was $8,000. 5th place finish is $7,500 minus your driver and trainer fees. So you're at $68,000. Your minus is almost or a little more than $1,200. You're minus $1,200 after the race. If you finish 5th, 4th, you make $4,000 or $5,000. You're really hitting the board is where you're going to make your bread and butter. And if you're going there next generation, you're hoping you can win, right? And she's not the only one. Philly qualifying tomorrow. It's not lost to me that I just watched Ronnie Gillespie winning 51-4 with his filly in Oak Grove. I was there. I saw it. She's a nice filly. And although I think Bella Dale could be any kind of horse still, she's going to have to wow me pretty good tomorrow. One, she's going to have to be 100% sound. I haven't seen her in 2 days. They say she's jogging good. I trained her on Saturday. Chris shot her on Saturday night. I've seen her. Or I haven't seen her the last 2 days. They say she's going good. I'm going to qualify her tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow morning before I go. Yes, sweetheart? We're not too far. Are you okay? Okay, we won't be too long, okay? So, how did that guy get into there? doesn't matter. Nothing. It's fine. So yeah, with Belladale also, I need to see a very flashy qualifier. You can't just worry about one horse, but I have to believe she's ready to rock right now, or it's another question, right? We got a couple of horses we're putting in the preferred sale. I can put those next gen spots in. Obviously, Lou Armstrong, I'm positive, unless something happens between now and then, he's going. He looks like a killer. The other ones I don't know. We'll deliberate on Dublin's Ferrani and also with Belladale tomorrow and make our decision after that. But is Bella going to trot 54? No, not going to trot 54. I'll tell you one thing though. She gets a nice little helmet to ride for a while and they come back to her at all. Who knows how fast she can go over Scioto. She's just going to go faster and faster and faster all summer long. She's just that handy. She gets over the ground easy. Just a sweetheart of a horse. I wish I had about 8 Dublin's Ferranis. And I think as we pass this marker where I'm telling you who I like and who still has work to do and who's not there yet, and who may maybe never get there. That's where we're at now. I think it's worth to reflect. Maybe make a mental note. Remember back to January when Belladale couldn't function properly. Dublin's Ferrani was making breaks and looked horrid. And I told everybody, remember, mark my words, by the middle of March, this filly would look good. It didn't even take even remotely that long. And it's already cataloged. You can go back and look. And I believe I said we're going to have a lot of fun with her this summer. And we will. So some real good surprises coming out of Ohio with Lou Armstrong. Although we knew he had talent, I didn't know he was that good. With Dublin's Ferrani, I figured she was good, and she's going to be good. Still question marks. We haven't seen Perfect Instead yet. Belladale's going to qualify tomorrow. A number of horses still have to go. Complete Unknown, I was a little miffed. We'll talk about them a little bit more, maybe tomorrow or whatnot. But I never would have brought Atomic Hanover back to Pennsylvania right away had I known they'd get in together. It never dawned on me there'd be one division of pacing colts. How is that even possible? There was like 3 divisions of fillies. One division of pacing colts. It boggled my mind. Never thought to ask. Just never dawned on me that it could be one. So Complete Unknown gets in with Atomic Hanover. Anyway, we're just trying to teach them how to race and do some good, and although that's not how I would like to do it, it is what it is. Now, we finished our afternoon with Solidarity. A good mile. I'm eager to see if he bled any. If he did, is it manageable? I told Eric there's 2 paths. Now, keep in mind, we drop down into that 40 level. There's still good horses in there. Drop down into that 40 level. And, he did pace 51 last quarter in 28 seconds from the 8-hole in Oak Grove, so no slouch. Looked around the last turn like he was going to take a run at them. Now, did he fizzle out because of the 8-hole, because he was out? Was he on the line? Or did he actually bleed a little bit? We'll find out more later on this afternoon. But for right now, I thought the horse raced absolutely fantastic. And as I said to Eric, don't worry, if he bled, that's fine. Put him in the overnights. You can race on Lasix in the overnights, just not the Sire Stakes. The overnights still go for good money. He'd probably race somewhere in 3 classes from the top or something, I would imagine. He's a Kentucky sired horse. Shouldn't be a problem. I thought he looked pretty good all in all. So, with that, we still got 5 going tonight, everybody. Had to know, Love Sensation, Uncle Danny, all race in Ohio tonight. And then we get to tune in and watch My Name's Swaney and Rico Tubbs in Scioto Downs. Lots more racing, still 5 on tap tonight. But so far, the 7 that we've already raced, pretty good. Miss Lady May was exceptionally good. Another huge surprise out of the burn. We knew she had talent. We knew she could go. Could she behave, get away 5th, follow cover, strike, and win like a good horse? I had no idea. Now we do. She can. PJ's loving. Very rare break for her. I would just turn the page. I don't foresee any issues with her. I didn't see any mechanical issues other than leading up to or after that break. Dame Hanover knocked that knee boot down. We need to take a look at that left front also. Probably just needs a little touch up. Gonna have to probably manage and work on her knees, same as every other international money we've ever had. Make sure we have a little bit of grab on her up front. Put a little tape on those knees up front. There won't be any problem. Tape on her knee boots. Won't be an issue. Incredible. We already know what's wrong with her. She was a little bit sick. Clean her up. Get her cleaned up and back in to go. Dublin's Franny was great. The only question with her is where we race her. I think I've been as fair and upfront to everybody as I can be with regards to Dublin's Franny. I'll say it again. If she was mine, she's going to the next generation. But I don't know. I'm not sure. What a beautiful filly. Regardless of what we do, where we go, and how we do it, we're going to have a lot of fun with Dublin's Franny this summer. She is a beauty. Pilot Caviar, good mile. Now, I told Justin you probably should get away a little closer to the front. I'm not disappointed. They came a big last half, and she trotted in, I'm sure she came out 57 in a piece. 28 in a piece on the end of it. That's good quarter and half for her. That's some good learning for her off to the Stallion Series with her and the other three for next Wednesday. A week from today, by the way. And then we closed out our afternoon with Solidarity. Out of the 8-hole, 2 moves, maybe 3 if you want to count that 3 wide in the last turn. 51 flat, 28 flat in the end of it on a 5/8 mile track. Pretty good mile for Solidarity. So there you have it. There's your afternoon racing in the books. We got Had to Know, Love Sensation, Uncle Danny, My Name's Swaney, and Rico Tubbs still up. Tomorrow we have Drebin. Lou Armstrong is going to make his highly anticipated first start tomorrow. Cover My Shorts racing. Arrowhead Hanover, gorgeous package of racing. We're going to close out our afternoon, though, with Chips Ahoy Hanover. He's going to race at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. You have to go bad? Can you hold it for another couple of minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got some back teeth floating here in the back seat. Addie's got to go to the bathroom bed. We'll see how far our bathrooms are ahead. If you got to go to the bathroom, I suggest you go now. We still got a little bit of ride to Northfield. Take care, everybody.